Think you know tough motorcycle races? You have no idea. In 2015, only 5 riders finished out of 500. 5. That's how brutal this race is. The mountain defeated doctors, lawyers, factory stars, and world champions. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a legend. It only respects pure, unadulterated will. This is the race where winners help their rivals up impossible climbs, where the prize isn't a check, but a piece of rock, and where, every year, thousands of people travel to a small Austrian town just to witness the spectacle of human struggle. This is the story of the Erzberg Rodeo, a race that was never supposed to be possible. Our story starts not with a corporate plan, but with a man and his motorcycle. His name is Karl Katoch. In 1994, he was just an Austrian municipal officer who loved to ride. He found himself exploring the brutal, beautiful terrain of the Erzberg, the Iron Mountain. For decades, this place had been mined for its iron ore. The landscape was littered with the scars of that work: sheer cliffs, snaking gravel roads, and vast fields of giant boulders left behind like a natural obstacle course. As Karl Katoch rode through this stunning scenery, an idea sparked. What if he created a race here? A true test for the world's best off-road riders. He wanted to present them with, in his own words, an unsolvable task. So in 1995, he did it. The first Erzberg Rodeo. It was a modest affair by today's standards. 120 riders showed up. They came from all over, drawn by the simple, heartfelt goal Karl had for them. He just wanted everyone to have a good time. That first winner was a rider from South Africa, Alfie Cox, on his KTM. He conquered the mountain and a legend was born.
Zum erfreulichen Teil. Alfie Cox auf KTM 250 gewinnt die Erzberg Offroad Challenge souverän mit einem Vorsprung von 17 Minuten. Seine Gesamtfahrzeit betrug 48 Minuten.
It's nice to have a speedy race before you're going to have a hard enduro on the next day. It's very nice to have you here, Alfie. Alfie Cox, Südafrika.
But no one could have predicted what happened next. The story of that first race spread like wildfire through the motorcycle world. In its second year, the number of competitors more than doubled. 250 riders showed up, then 500, then 1,000. Today, the event consistently draws over 1,500 competitors from more than 40 nations. They're joined by tens of thousands of spectators who turn the base of the mountain into a 4-day festival of extreme sport. Karl Katoch's ride in the woods had created a monster. A beautiful, brutal, economic force for the entire Eisenerz region. To understand how that monster devours nearly every rider it meets, you have to see how the race actually works. So, what makes this race so impossible? Why do over 97% of the riders fail? It starts with a brutal selection process. The journey to the main event is a gauntlet in itself. It all begins with the Iron Road Prologue. Held on Friday and Saturday, this is a high-speed dash, a 13-kilometer blast up a gravel road that snakes toward the summit of the Iron Giant. This isn't the technical nightmare of the main race. This is a flat-out speed test, and it's the only way you earn your ticket to the big show. The top 500 riders from the 1,500 entrants qualify. Everyone else goes home. The Prologue is a wild, diverse event. You'll see everything from full race bikes to scooters and even quads, racing against the clock and gravity alike. They're all dispatched at 20-second intervals, creating a constant, roaring procession towards the summit. The pressure is immense. One mistake, one slow section, and your dream of racing on Sunday is over. But before the Prologue even begins, the party starts on Thursday with a side event called the Rocket Ride. Introduced in 2009, this is a pure spectacle. Over 300 riders attempt to conquer a massive 4-story tall steep section of the mountain. The goal is simple: hold the throttle wide open and get to the top the fastest. The top 48 qualifiers then face off in a knockout system. It's a good, short, explosive burst of exactly the kind of challenge that defines Erzberg. A good taste of the madness to come. Then comes Sunday, noon. The air's thick with anticipation and the smell of pre-mixed fuel. The Elite 500 who survived the prologue line up at the base of the quarry. This is the Red Bull Hare Scramble, the main event, the grand finale. When the start flag drops, waves of 50 riders are unleashed at a time. The front row, earned by the fastest prologue times, is the most coveted piece of real estate in motorcycle racing.
It's Chris Gunderman.
They have 4 hours, just 240 minutes. Their task is to complete a 35-kilometer course. This is not a loop. This is a point-to-point assault on the mountain, and the course is redesigned every single year. They create new, diabolical sections to surprise even the veterans. The riders have to pass through 23 checkpoints. Miss one, and you're disqualified. The finish rate is famously staggeringly low. In 1999, a record 51 riders finished. That record still stands. In 2025, only 14 made it. In 2015, a mere 5 riders saw the checkered flag within the time limit. This isn't a race that you win. This is a race you survive. The ultimate prize for this inhuman effort isn't money. It's a trophy carved from a piece of the Iron Giant itself. A rock. A symbol of the willpower it takes to conquer the unconquerable. You're probably asking, what could possibly be that difficult? Let's talk about the terrain. Erzberg isn't a natural mountain trail. It's an active iron ore quarry. The ground is loose, sharp, and unpredictable. The slopes are incredibly steep and notoriously slippery. Your bike is constantly scrambling for traction on shale and loose rock. One wrong move and you're sliding backwards, sending a cascade of rocks down on the riders below you. Then there's the sections. Specific parts of the course that have earned legendary and even feared names. There's Karl's Diner. This is the definitive Erzberg section. A vast, exhausting crawl over a field of massive boulders. These are mining remnants, some as big as cars. It's a trial section that seems to go on forever. It pushes a rider's strength, skill, and mental endurance to the absolute breaking point. There's Dynamite, a steep, explosive climb that demands perfect precision and power. There's Machine, a technical maze of rock formations that requires absolute focus. And there's the Bathtub. Located at a huge ore washing basin, this involves a near vertical descent, followed by an equally steep, muddy climb out. In 2015, they introduced a new section called Downtown. It was designed to be impassable. It forced riders down into a deep ravine. Then they had to climb a ridiculously steep, muddy hill.
That everywhere else is dry and dusty, but here in downtown, it's basically a stream, and no rider has ever taken a motorcycle up here. Karl has designed this just by walking it, and now the riders are seeing it for the first time, but our new leader, Jarvis, is struggling in downtown.
This section will create one of the most iconic moments in the race's history, but we'll get to that soon. The mountain is only half the battle. The alpine weather in Erzberg is a wild card. You can start the race in blazing sunshine. An hour later, you could be battling hailstones or even snow. The mountain, made of metal-rich ore, is a lightning rod. The risk of a lightning strike is very real. In 2013, torrential rain turned the start line into a bike-drowning lake. The elements are an active, hostile participant in this event. This combination of extreme terrain and unpredictable weather creates a profound psychological battle. Mental fortitude becomes as important as physical skill. You're exhausted. You're battered. You know the statistics. You know that most of you won't make it. Pushing through that doubt, staying calm when your bike is stuck on a rock, and maintaining focus for 4 hours is what separates the finishers from the rest. The rider at Erzberg is a different breed. This is not a sport for specialists. It demands a complete athlete. Physically, you need the cardiovascular endurance of a marathon runner. You need the raw strength of a weightlifter to manhandle a 230-pound bike over obstacles. You need the balance and precision of a trials rider to pick your way through rock gardens. And you need the agility to jump on and off the bike dozens of times, but muscles alone don't win here. Mindset does. This race is a psychological marathon. You have to push through pain. You have to stay calm under extreme pressure. You have to make split-second decisions while your body is screaming at you to stop. The interdependency of mind and body is absolute. One can't succeed without the other. The bikes at Erzberg aren't stock motocross machines. They're built for punishment. Stripped down, re-geared, and tuned for torque, not speed. Suspension is softer and more forgiving, built to find traction through rocks and roots instead of soaking up triples. Soft compound tires claw for grip, usually stuffed with mousses because tubes wouldn't last a mile. Everything on these bikes has one job: survive the mountain. The engines are tuned for low-end torque and control, not top speed. The most common bikes you'll see battling the Iron Giant are two-strokes like the KTM 300 XCW and the Husqvarna TE 300. Their lightweight and aggressive power delivery are ideal for the steep, technical climbs. The constant innovation driven by Erzberg's demands has pushed manufacturers to build tougher, more capable machines, benefiting the entire sport. Preparation for this race is a year-round obsession. Riders train by simulating race conditions, long-distance running and cycling for cardio, intense strength training for the core, legs, and arms. Many practice on trials bikes to hone their balance and technical skills, but beyond the physical, they train their minds. They develop strategies for maintaining focus, for pushing through the wall of fatigue. They know that at Erzberg, the race is won or lost between the ears. Over 3 decades, the Erzbergrodeo has created its own pantheon of gods, riders who've tamed the Iron Giant not once, but multiple times. In the early years, German rider Christian Pfeiffer set a high bar.
Christian Pfeiffer stürmt in Rekordzeit die 12 Kontrollstempel und gibt ihm...
He won the Hare Scramble 4 times: 1996, 1997, 2000, and 2004. He became a legend, proving that consistency on this mountain was possible. Then came a dominant force from Poland, Taddy Blazusiak. He exploded onto the scene in 2007 and went on a rampage. He won 5 consecutive races from 2007 to 2011.
Triumphe, als ob die Semmel fährt.
His calm demeanor and sheer skill made him nearly unbeatable. He became synonymous with Erzberg excellence. The United Kingdom produced its own heroes. David Knight won back-to-back in 2005 and 2006. When Knight's dominance faded, a new chapter began, ushering in the era of Graham Jarvis and Jonny Walker. Jarvis, a master of technical terrain, would eventually tie Taddy's record with 5 wins of his own. Walker, a dynamic and powerful rider, would take 3 victories. Spain's Alfredo Gomez also etched his name into the history books with 2 hard-fought wins. In recent years, a new king has emerged: Manuel Lettenbichler from Germany. Letty is a product of Erzberg royalty. His father, Andreas Lettenbichler, was a podium finisher and a legend in his own right. Letty grew up around this race. In 2014, at just 16 years old, he became the youngest rider to ever finish the Hare Scramble. It was a sign of things to come. In 2022, at 24, he became the youngest winner in history, and he just hasn't stopped. He won again in 2023, 2024, and 2025. 4 consecutive victories, establishing a dominance we haven't seen since the days of Taddy Blazusiak. His story represents the evolution of the sport, a new generation raised on extreme enduro, pushing the limits of what's possible on a dirt bike. KTM has been the most successful manufacturer by a huge margin, with over 20 victories. Their orange machines have become a constant on the Erzberg podium. Some races are defined by a single winner. Others are defined by a moment that captures the spirit of the entire sport. The 2015 Hare Scramble gave us one of those moments. Remember that new section I mentioned downtown? The impassable hill? The race had taken a dramatic turn. Jonny Walker was leading, looking strong, but then, disaster. His bike's radiator was damaged. It started overheating, costing him precious time and power. Graham Jarvis passed him, then Alfredo Gomez passed him. Walker was stuck, letting his bike cool down, his chances of victory slipping away.
A dejected Jonny Walker watched on helplessly.
By the time Walker got moving again, he arrived at the base of the new downtown section. And who did he find there? Graham Jarvis and Alfredo Gomez. They were also stuck. The hill was brutally steep, slick with mud, and almost impossible to climb. Shortly after, Manuel Lettenbichler arrived. The four of them, four of the best riders in the world, were all defeated by this one hill. But then, something amazing happened. Instead of fighting each other, they started working together. They banded together. They helped each other pull their bikes up the treacherous slope.
They are helping each other out, this unseen terrain.
One rider would claw his way up a few feet, then turn around to help the next. It was a display of pure sportsmanship, a moment where the shared struggle outweighed the individual competition. After a monumental effort, all four riders reached the top, but they only had about 20 minutes left to finish the race. They rode the final sections together, coasting across the finish line in quick succession to share the podium. It wasn't a single winner, it was a victory for the spirit of hard enduro. This moment exemplifies the unique camaraderie that exists in this sport, a core value that draws riders back year after year. They compete fiercely, but they also understand that they're all facing the same impossible mountain. The Erzberg Rodeo has exploded into a global phenomenon. Its impact stretches far beyond the quarry and Eisenerz. It's the definitive benchmark for extreme enduro. When you win here, you've proven yourself against the toughest standard in the world. The race's growth mirrored the rise of hard enduro itself. In 2018, it joined the World Enduro Super Series, a global showcase for the toughest off-road events on the planet. By 2022, it became an official round of the FIM Hard Enduro World Championship, marking the sport's leap from grassroots to globally recognized discipline. But after a couple years under the FIM banner, Erzberg stepped away to reclaim its independence. For 2026, it's set to team up with Red Bull Romaniacs to launch a new collaborative format, linking two of the toughest races on Earth under one extreme enduro banner. The Iron Giant may have stepped away from the championship tour, but it remains the benchmark every rider measures themselves against. The event is a major economic engine for the Eisenerz region. It brings in millions of euros, hotels are booked solid, restaurants and shops thrive. The event now costs several million euros to organize, showing just how critical sponsorships and long-term partnerships are to its survival. Its global reach is undeniable. Broadcast to millions in over 100 countries, Erzberg's coverage spans every platform, from live global TV feeds to viral clips online, tuning the Iron Giant into hard enduro's main stage. This exposure acts as a gateway. It introduces countless new fans to the thrilling world of hard enduro. Looking to the future, the sport is in good hands. Over 60% of the participants at Erzberg are under 30 years old. The interest among younger riders is skyrocketing. A new generation is charging in, faster, fitter, and more fearless than ever. The future of hard enduro isn't just secure, it's already on the throttle. What's it like to be there, to witness this madness in person? For the tens of thousands of fans who make the pilgrimage, the Erzberg Rodeo is a 4-day festival. It's an immersion in adrenaline and celebration. The atmosphere is electric. The legendary beer tent is the pulsing heart of the party. It offers food, drinks, and late-night celebrations where fans can actually mingle with the top riders. There's a unique tradition called the Raid on Eisenerz. On Saturday evening, thousands of dirt bikes parade into the host town. The riders and fans party with the locals, turning the streets into a massive, roaring block party. There are side events like freestyle motocross shows. There are even jet ski freestyle displays on the lake at the base of the mountain. For spectators, the access is unparalleled. You can walk through the pro pit area and rider village. You can see the teams working frantically to prepare the bikes. You can see the unique camping culture with impromptu hot tubs and mini beer tents set up by fans. The event is designed for spectators. Free shuttle buses transport you to the best viewing points around the mountain. You can stand at the Erzbergrodeo arena at the foot of the mountain with grandstands and giant video walls. Or you can hike to spots with names like the Brecker, the Bohrerschmiede, or the Wasserleitung. These are eye-popping parts of the track where you can watch the world's best riders battle for position on near impossible climbs. For a truly unique view, you can take a helicopter ride over the mining area. Or you can take a tour on one of the massive 860 horsepower mining trucks. You get an up-close look at the industrial landscape that creates this unique challenge. The local cuisine is hearty: pizza, pretzels, and plenty of beer. You have to be ready for the weather. It can be sunny and hot one minute and cold with hail the next. But that's all part of the experience, the shared struggle in the beer tent, the collective gasp when a rider conquers a difficult section. It creates a sense of community, a shared pilgrimage for everyone who loves this sport. For 30 years, the Iron Giant has stood as the ultimate test. It's humbled the proud, it's broken the strong, and it's forged legends. The race has evolved from Karl Katoch's simple ride into a cornerstone of world motorsport, but its soul remains the same. It's still about that unsolvable task. It's still about the raw, unscripted battle between human spirit and an unforgiving mountain. The multi-stage format ensures only the most complete riders even get a chance. The lack of prize money means the motivation is pure. Riders aren't here for a paycheck. They come for the rock, for the myth, to find out if they still have what it takes. The consistently low finish rate transforms simply completing the race into a mythical achievement. It's a badge of honor that very few can claim. This pursuit of personal accomplishment, more than any trophy, is what defines the Erzberg Rodeo, and it's why riders come back year after year. The Red Bull Erzberg Rodeo is more than a race. It's a festival, a benchmark, a legend. It's the story of a mountain that dares you to conquer it, and the men and women who are crazy enough to try. From Alfie Cox in 1995 to Manuel Lettenbichler in 2025, the story continues. New chapters are written every year, new legends are born, new riders arrive, looking up at the Iron Giant, wondering if they have what it takes. What do you think? Does this sound like the toughest race on the planet to you? Who's your favorite Erzberg legend? Let us know in the comments below. Watch the next one. It's another story of chaos, courage, and the will to keep going when everyone else quits. Thanks for watching, and stay wicked.